Hey folks, Post here. Welcome back to another Pokemon Master video. So after yesterday's summon, if you guys didn't check out the summon video yet, you can check it out. It's on the channel. We got Lance and Dragonite. I would say we we're decently lucky on that banner. Not it's not insanely lucky. I know what insanely lucky is like, right? Not our luckiest banner, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty lucky, I'd have to say, right? It was like under 5,000 gems. So that's a win in my book. But anyways, yeah, we got Lance, and I went ahead and leveled him up and learned all the moves and all that stuff. And let's try out Lance. So for those of you who don't know, Lance has insane stats, right? Like top 5 in physical attack, top 5 in special attack, and decent bulk as well. So Lance, really good stats. The biggest problem with Lance is he's not really viable in co-op in comparison to a lot of other units, right? I mean, you can still use him in co-op, it's just much harder. Like, there is a EX Claire going on right now, which is kind of like specially designed for Lance, so Lance does really well in that event, obviously. But aside from that, Lance is hardly usable in other co-ops. At least there's no use found for him yet. We'll have to see, if there's any potential use for him in the future, but unfortunately at the moment there's really isn't much use for him. Oh, and also the Cynthia event that's going on right now, the 2 champion event. So there's that as well. But overall, not exactly the most useful unit, just due to its move set. So here's the thing: Hyper Beam is a 4 move gauge move, and 4 move gauge moves got nerfed, quite a bit with the new update, with the new co-op update. So that's hurt. That's gonna hurt. And also, Lance doesn't have any stat boost, and also it has a move called Now or Never, which is kind of not that great, unfortunately. It cuts your HP in half and then increases your move gauge by 6. Move gauge by 6 is really good, but you're taking half of your HP, so I guess you'll kind of have to use it. It will be much better in single player when you actually have a tank that could take away all the damage from you. So I guess it will be better in solo play, but in terms of in co-op, if you use it early, and if you don't use it early, you can't use Hyper Beam, right? You just have to wait like forever to use Hyper Beam. So for co-op, if you're trying to use Lance, you either have to use Lance like later in the game and somehow have like a lot of move gauge already, or you have to just start out with Dragon Claw, just get Unity going, right? So unfortunately, even though Hyper Beam looks really cool, but it's not really useful in co-op, unfortunately. And also only 90% hit, so if you miss on that 10%, 4 move gauge, boom, gone, right? Also, passive skill, Dragon Shift, that turns normal type moves and drag type moves, which is why you see Hyper Beam over here as a Dragon type. You also prevent yourself from getting paralyzed, and also prevents yourself from flinching, because Dragonite has inner focus, right? So there's that. Anyways, let's go ahead and try Dragonite out in some different scenarios. So first of all, let's go into single player, which Dragonite is pretty insane in single player, right? But again, the thing about being insane in single player is almost every unit is really good in single player, so it's not that big of an accomplishment, right? You could use free-to-play units and clear like almost every single player content in the game at the moment. But anyways, here's the team we're gonna go with. We're gonna obviously use Lance and Dragonite, but we're also gonna bring Rosa and Delibird, just because again Hyper Beam is a 4 move gauge move, and this build is focused around Hyper Beam, right? And Rosa's or Rosanta's all the presents increases move gauge, acceleration, and raises speed as well. So that's speed plus move gauge acceleration. That's gonna help a lot in actually getting Dragonite there. And then Meditate has Gloves Off, which raises the crit rate of all allied sync pairs, which is nice, and also makes their attack a sure hit. So you're guaranteed to not miss a Hyper Beam when you have Gloves Off with Meditate. So anyways, let's go ahead and do this. We're doing the level up super course against Claire, which is obviously a Dragon type trainer, which is also weak to Dragon type. So let's actually make this slightly slower so I could catch up with because it's a new unit. New units usually, take me a while to get used to, right? All right, so let's do that first. We're getting speed and defense. Okay, that's not really useful defense. But, speed, that's guaranteed, so that's always good. +1 crit rate, sure hit next. All the presents. Can we get special attack? Okay, no. Okay, Hyper Beam, let's go. 4 move gauge Hyper Beam. This is gonna make sure it's not gonna miss. And 1.7k. That's not even a boosted Hyper Beam, man. That's not even a boosted Hyper Beam. All right, let's try this again. All right, one more hit with Hyper Beam. Let's see what we got. And a 2.4k. 2.4k, and it's not even boosted. You don't have, X special attack or whatever. It's not even boosted. It's just, a straight up Hyper Beam. 2.4k. Oh my goodness. Let's use some of these, just so we could get a. Actually, no. Let's just get this one over with. We're gonna do. I was gonna do sync move, but let's do the sync move with a different comp. All right. So, well, there goes the poor Dino. Or Dino, I don't know. And cool, got some level up manuals, which is nice. Cost me like 167 level up manuals or something to level up this Dragonite, so I'm in need of some of those. Anyways, okay, so that was a team comp where you're like guaranteed to not miss the Hyper Beam, at least for twice, right? Because if you do miss that on that 10%, it's gonna hurt a lot. So that team comp is basically to make sure Hyper Beam functions properly. So now let's try a team comp that is a bit more risky, but I guess to the best extent maximizes Dragonite's damage output. So let's go with this. We're gonna go with Torchic to boost special attack and crit. That could boost crit by 2 and then special attack by 4 up to. And then we're going to go ahead and use Roxanne with Nose Pass. This helps in 2 different ways because with Roxanne, you have Study Buddies, which boosts your special attack. So that could get Dragonite up to +6 guaranteed, and also raises the speed of your allied sync mirrors, which is nice. So anyways, let's go in here. This should be the highest damage Dragonite could do, minus gears, which we don't have, and also the potential system. Just a, I guess, free dupe Dragonite, right? If you want to call it that. Okay, let's start with Blazing Hope, Study Buddies. Let's do another Blazing Hope and another Study Buddies just for the speed. So we could get a Hyper Beam up as much as possible, right? All right, let's slightly increase this. All right, let's go down so we could see clearly the damage numbers that this is going to output. All right, please don't miss. If it misses. Okay, there we go. And 5.4k damage. What? Did you guys just see that? That was 5.4k damage. Holy crap. Okay, let's do this. Let's use these support moves just so we don't do any damage to the Dino thing, and so we could get our sync move up. And then after the sync move, also buffs us as well, right? And we'll see how much damage it does. The Hyper Beam. Sync move, by the way, is just like slightly stronger than Hyper Beam in terms of power. Okay, 3.9k on it, non-super effective. All right, this should be the biggest Hyper Beam since we do have the sync move buff as well. Oh boy. And it missed. Well, thank goodness. Oh my god, twice? Here's the problem with Dragonite. Okay, let's use this. Half of our HP for 6 move gauges. Alright. There we go. And 8.3k damage. 8.3k damage. Holy crap. This guy does so much damage on a Hyper Beam. It's unbelievable. Again, this guy is a monster in solo play, but where it comes short is obviously co-op, but when it's in solo, it's an absolute monster. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, let's try Dragonaut, or not Dragonaut, Dragonclaw Dragonite. Let's try Dragonclaw Dragonite over here. So let's find a setup for physical, right? Oops, let's go back here. A physical setup, obviously you'll want and need Hilbert. Well, physical setup, Phoebe Hilbert, right? That's the best physical setup, right? Where's Hilbert? Where's Hilbert? There you go. Hilbert's the fastest, to set up +6 physical attack. That's why we're using him. So, all right, let's try a run with Dragonclaw over here. All right, let's speed this part up. Phoebe, Get Dire Hit All and this together. Dire Hit All again. Because do keep in mind, like, even though Dragonite does have Hyper Beam and that's a special attack, Dragonite's physical attack stat is also insanely high, right? All right, Dragon Claw. Let's see how much this does. 3.2k. Oh boy. And do keep in mind, you know, Dragon Claw is much more spammable than Hyper Beam. Even though Hyper Beam looks cool and all that, you know, really flashy numbers, really big numbers, right? It's much easier to spam Dragon Claw in co-op, which is why, you know, Dragon Claw is the much preferred move in co-op, just to, you know, just for Unity, right? Unity's very important in co-op, obviously. So that's why you want to use Dragon Claw instead of Hyper Beam in co-op. So anyways, let's go ahead. Let's head over to co-op, and this is where Dragonite struggles a bit, except for the fact that the event at the moment and EX Clear, which is designed specifically for Dragonite, is actually really decent towards Dragonite. So let's try this event first. Let's throw Dragonite in here, and obviously biggest problem here, you got no supports, so Dragonite is just gonna go in there raw with like nothing because Eevee's not out yet. When Eevee's out, then Dragonite's gonna be a monster. Well, I wouldn't say monster, but you know, much better, I guess. Much better in co-op than it is now. All right, fortunately, we're the only Dragonite user here, so all right, let's see how we're gonna go about this. So we'll just have to start with Dragon Claw, right? I guess we don't have to if both our allies are buffing. I guess we'll just, or we could just go for Hyper Beam. Oh, that's kind of a waste. I don't know. 1.2k. So again, we don't have any buffs, so it's not gonna do too much damage, unfortunately. In comparison to what, you know, Mewtwo and Lycanroc can do in co-op. All right, there you go. Mewtwo just did that with only 3 bars. We have, well, we used 4, and also 10% chance to miss as well. So in co-op, you're basically going to try and spam Dragon Claw just to get Unity going, right? As our Unity got broken up by Garchomp there, which is unfortunate. Oh my god. Lycanroc just does so much freaking damage. Yay, Unity. And how many bars do we have? 13, 12. I guess it's a matter. We're gonna clear this. We're gonna clear this round before Unity even matters, because this, well, obviously this is super easy. So let's go for Now or Never and Unflappable. That's cool, right? Let's go for Hyper Beam. Take out well, hopefully take it out. I mean, I guess we could technically still, oh, well, there you go, we got the Unity attack. We could technically still miss on that Hyper Beam, which we've already experienced painfully in the last solo run, right? When we missed like twice in a row. This Hyper Beam might be like the single highest damaging move you could get in this game. Probably, yeah. Not accounting for, you know, the stacking moves, right? Like Mega Pincers, Fury Cutter, which is insane. But oh, there we go. Let's try a slightly harder stage, just so you know it's a bit more reliable over here, right? So let's go with the let's go do the EX co-op, so we could see what Dragonite actually looks like in a regular co-op battle. Well, no, I wouldn't say regular, but you know, an actual difficult co-op mission. So let's go with that. And so here we'll have to be careful. I'm pretty sure we can't really start with Hyper Beam. That might be disastrous, right? But again, we'll see what happens. Let's work on the sides first. Kingdra shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's go Dragon Claw. All right. Okay, that person used Hyper Beam. That's unfortunate. Looks like they're hitting mid first. Then let's go ahead and hit the center first as well. Let's go with that. Damn, Dragon Claw still does decent amount of damage. Even though unfortunately you don't have any buffs, which you can't do as much damage as a lot of other sync pairs, but it's not terrible. I guess, especially oof. Damn, that's Hyper Beam is a lot of damage. But then again, you're not helping the team if you're using Hyper Beam, right? Unfortunately. If you want to help the team, spam Dragon Claw. All right. Dragon Breath? Who queued Dragon Breath? Oh, they have Kingdra in the back. Looks like they got tired of using Dragonite. Are we just hitting the sides now? If that's the case, I'll go and try and hit up Salamence then. Alright, got a Unity. This Unity should do a decent amount of damage. Although, again, unfortunately, we still, we don't have any buffs on these guys. But it still should do a decent amount of damage, I would assume, right? Shoot. Should we use a now or never? Out of move gauge. Even though it's, Dragon Claw, which is still 2 gauge here. But we don't have any buffs to help us with that. We don't have any speed buffs like Garchomp. Garchomp at least has a speed buff built in, right? So there's that going for Garchomp. They're buffing. They're not going for Unity. Come on. Potion. Twister. All right, let's try to go for. I don't think we can do that. Like 2 more turns before Kingdra sinks us, I guess. I guess it's now or never. We're probably gonna die anyways, so let's now or never, and then just YOLO Hyper Beam it before we die to the Kingdra sync move. All right, time for YOLO Hyper Beam. Oh, looks like they're gonna sync move first, so we might take this one out, or not. I guess not. Well, we got a Hyper Beam queued at least, and it didn't miss. So there we go. This is only hard, not very hard, obviously. So Dragonite, again, the shortcomings in co-op is pretty obvious, right? You don't have any self-buffing moves and stuff, which hurts it a lot. And also, its highest damaging move is not that effective in here, unfortunately. At least, with 3-star, or not, like 3 cost moves, you could, sort of throw them in there, here and there, but unfortunately 4 costs is just might be a bit too much. But again, Dragonite is not like terrible. Like a lot of people are saying Dragonite's terrible, Dragonite's straight up bad, and I understand where they're coming from, but I just don't think it's as terrible as they say. Like it's not absolute garbage. It still has its uses, right? It still has it's pretty phenomenal in single player, and also in co-op. It has its uses, right? Even though it's not great, it's not a great unit overall. Like you can't, it's not Nolan. You can't like just bring it into like every, EX very hard challenge and expect to have good results. But at least it beats the EX clear thing pretty easily. I wouldn't say easily, but pretty handily. And then also the event that's going on right now at the moment, the Cynthia and Lance one, the 2 champions event. So that helps. Anyways, that's me for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about Lance and Dragonite in the comments down below. Again, a monster in single, which also isn't that useful, but it's something, right? And obviously it has some shortcomings in co-op, but it still dominates the 2 events that it's supposed to dominate in. And that's good enough for me. So anyways, again, that's me for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about Lance and Dragonite in the comments down below. If you guys are still summoning for Lance and Dragonite, good luck to you guys. Hopefully y'all, get what you want on the banner. So again, there we go. Like and enjoy this video, subscribe to our new channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. And I'll see you guys in the next one.